Hi, and welcome to the first video of the Shorty series. Shorty are going to be video 10 minutes or less, and we're going to concentrate on one specific concept. They're intended to be your reference on a specific point. Today we're going to cover the basics of the board object. The board object is the base of your levels. It's where you're going to put your player, NPCs, structures, portals, treasures, everything. Once you've placed everything on your board, you'll have to associate it with a level number in the game object so it can manage your board. I'll add a link to the Tutorial 1 video in the cards. So let's see everything there is to know about the board constructor and the impact on the look and feel of your game. First of all, let's see what's the default representation of a board look like. That's not super impressive. Fortunately, the constructor of this class takes a lot of options that can help to make it look awesome. I really encourage you to have a look at the documentation on Read the Docs. You'll find everything there is to know on the constructor, but also on every single method of the class. So now let's see what these options actually do. To better identify the board, we can give it a name. So let's do that by putting into the parenthesis name equal open quote demo level close quote. The name has to be a string, hence the quote, and then use the attribute member b.name to display it. The board also has default option for all these values. Default value is a value that is going to be assigned if no arguments have been passed to the constructor. For example, even if we did not pass a size argument, our board obviously has a size or it would not display. We can use b.size as we saw. Here's it's 10 by 10, but we could decide to change it. You might want a bigger board or a thin corridor. You could be done by passing different size argument to the constructor, like using size 20 by 20 gives us a much bigger board. The size has to be an array of 2 integers. If you want this level to be a corridor, you can use 40 by 5. The next thing we want to explore is how to make the board look a lot cooler. That's where all the constructors parameters starting with UI underscore come in handy. First, we can play with all the borders at the same time by putting UI underscore borders equal hashtag. And obviously all the borders are going to be the same with the same character. Again, it's a string, so between quotes. But we could want to have only the bottom border to look like that, and then we use UI underscore border bottom. As you can see in the documentation, you can set specific borders by using UI border bottom, top left, and UI border right. Another important parameter is UI board void cell. It determines how an empty cell of the board is going to be represented. For example, we could want the board to display a dot instead of nothing. So in the constructor, we pass the parameter UI underscore board underscore void underscore cell equal dot. It's not going to be very nice, but it's a matter of test. Now, one thing you certainly notice is that even though the board is supposed to be a square matrix, it certainly don't look like it. It's because vertical characters takes more space than horizontal ones in the terminal. So you could try to make them taking extra room by using a double character like dashes. And for example, we could use in the constructor UI underscore border underscore top equal open quote dash dash and close quote, and do the same for border bottom. But then you have to manage the size of the void cell, because let's be honest, it's not a super improvement so far. So let's add UI board void cell with a double space. It's better, but even now it's not looking too good. This is where the utils and sprites model come to the rescue. So we first need to import them. Import gamelib.utils as u and import gamelib.sprites as s. I obviously strongly advise against using u and s as name in your real code. It's too easy to mistake for something else. You should use sprites or utils. So now let's try again using the cyan and black squares provided by utils. So in the constructor we'll use UI underscore borders, so all our borders look the same, and we set it at u.cyan underscore square, everything in capital letter, and then we set UI underscore board underscore void underscore cell to u.black underscore square, again everything in capital letter. And then when we display that, suddenly we have a very nice board, or a much better board. But we could also decide to use the wall sprite. So instead of util cyan square, let's use s.wall, and it looks even better. But we could even use unicorns if we want, by using s.unicorn face, and now we're like super duper cool. The last important parameter that I want to talk about is player starting position. It's a critical one because it's used by the game object to place the player when you change level. It requires coordinate as an array of 2 integers. So you pass player underscore starting underscore position, open bracket 1015, close bracket. It has no impact on the board itself, and if you manually place your player, you have to query this value by yourself. But if, as I strongly suggest, you're using the game object to manage that, it's going to be of paramount importance and very simple. Now last but not least, you can mix all of these parameters as you like and make an extremely flashy level. Thank you for watching this video, have fun and see you around.